mental health problems. So we think, let's push more on social media as upcoming artists, because that's where we're gonna get recognized. But as our mental health are not the same, some of us, just logging in is already a problem. So I want to know from people like you and you who have incorporated social media with working as a brand, incorporating that your life, your brand, your lifestyle, and still being sane. How do you go about that?
Okay, well, I think I'm happy to take that one. I want to put this as bluntly as I possibly can, né? And I might run the risk of being vulgar. What you think of me is none of my fucking business. I don't want to lie. What I post, and I post because I'm not seeking your permission. That's what I want to do. And if you're going to be aggressively negative towards the things that I put out there, no, you need to search yourself. I'm not stopping my clock. This is a train, it's on the tracks, it's moving, with or without your permission, right? So I think the problem is a lot of people spend too much time getting caught up in people's opinions. And that's where you cease to exist. That's where you live a short life for yourself in terms of your mental well-being. And I want to take it away from social media, but I want to bring it to the streets. Ukitile kifitle yi ke kentse di slides saka le Bat Simpson wa ka le tracksuit ya ka le skipper sa. Go tla style se seng se tlo bona ha tlhapa. Wanzwa. Because ke take ba batla ke fitle yi candile di eyebrow, hey man, weave must be on fleek, manala everything it wants give a ra. Ska tlo ntela ka mathata ha. Ska tlo nkimela. Ke ba dilo dala tracksuit fanda. E ke na le bana ba itere. Hey man, kaya email Albert, uskan email, uskan stress. So go fit, I'm gonna aram morning, mom, daddy, I have. Are you gonna stop your clock and worry about that person? No, you're not. I love the way I'm dressed. I love the way I look. I love how fresh I smell. I love the way I feel when I'm dressed like this. The fact that I'm relaxed. You understand? So take it now to social media. Take that mindset to social media. People are always gonna have something stupid to say because they see in you what they wish they could be, maybe some of them sometimes. You understand? I know I aggravate a lot of people because I'm a free spirit. Listen, my boy, I live free and I live loud and I live proud. You're not going to stop me. Dogs only bark at moving cars, so move. So move, keep moving. And let them speak. Let them speak. Thank you. Let them speak. Because if they're quiet, your brand's not moving. So really, you need to take the good with the bad, my boy, and let me bring it to your mental health now. What you do at home to calm yourself down and look after yourself, that's your responsibility. Me now, when I'm at home. Ngiyaphahla, ngiyaqamaguisha, ngiyaguqa ngedolo, ngiyathandaza. Ngiyafutha, and angfutheli COVID. Angfutheli COVID. And ngiyakhuluma manga angfutheli COVID. Ngiyaphahla, ngiyafutha, ngiyathandaza. I do what makes me feel okay. And if I feel like ukuphahla nokufutha akusebenzi, I call my therapist. I book an appointment. Maybe I've got the luxury of being financially capable to have many therapy sessions and so forth, and maybe you don't. Maybe somebody else doesn't. But then if I didn't have the money and I was still broke like back in those days, I'd be on Google with the little bit of data that I have to find out where I can get help for free, to talk to somebody. So talk in your personal capacity and live loud in your public capacity. You're a train on a track, move. Sky miswa dilo tao DM lingqondo ya hao ebhome because batho ba bolela batho hela batho ba bolele brand e tshwantse e move trenda wena papa trenda.
Sorry, may I just add to, you're talking about, very nice, I'm a fan. You're talking about how major record label artists never seem to have mental problems. Let me tell you something for free. Every single person is going through something. I remember when we lost Ricky the other day, in one WhatsApp group, someone was like, but Ricky was doing well. He just signed a deal with African Bank. I was like, dude, you can have a billion rand in your bank account and still feel empty, feel miserable, still have issues from childhood that you're dealing. We're all going through something. It's how you deal with it that will be the difference. Especially Majita. Don't be afraid to talk to someone. Don't be afraid to have a guy, out that you can talk to and say, I am not okay, help. That is the difference between feeling like my things are not moving or my things are moving. But everyone is going through something. Michael Jackson, guys, was using anesthetic just to sleep. Just to sleep. And that's the stuff that killed him. But that's how bad his need for sleep was. Because of his shit he's dealing with. We're all dealing with something. But what's important is find an outlet. And find a non-violent outlet. Because another problem is we now turn our problems into our kids' problems. Because we're now partying. Or whatever it is you're going through. We're all going through shit, not me out. Don't think because someone looks pretty on Instagram, they're not going through shit. If you zoom out, you look at our home cuckoo. We're all going through something.
Sorry, I just want to mildly add to that as well. If you are a person who has these issues, who has mental problems, or maybe you are internalizing a lot of things and you're feeling like you don't have anybody to speak to, I do also want to kind of take away the stigma of therapy, because everybody thinks that, Watanya, if you go to a therapist. No! Therapists are not there only dealing with crazy people. They're dealing with people who have day-to-day issues. And if your day-to-day issue is maybe you fought with your girlfriend and it's a stupid fight because she got home late or whatever, it's still an issue. You're dealing with it. It's bothering you. I need to have someone to speak to. And when people post these numbers for SADC and things like that, take those numbers because it's free. Have someone to speak to who's not going to judge you. Have someone who's not going to talk about you when you arrive, go hang out next week Sunday. Do you understand? Those options are there just for you to release. You know how sometimes you are holding it in and you know you want to cry? Cry if you have to cry. You're a human being. Your tear ducts exist for a reason. Cry if you have to cry. Speak to somebody if you have to speak to somebody. Deal with yourself, as everybody has said. And therapy is available and it is free in certain portions, because the government does afford subsidies for certain therapists, so you have opportunities. Use the internet to find them, please.
I just want to add something, which might take a bit of time, but I've realized that therapy helps. I went through therapy because someone said, yeah, just go check what it can do for you, and I was like, hey, I think I'm okay, I don't have issues, I don't feel like I want to kill myself every now and then, but I'm cool. And they just said, just go, man. Just go and speak to someone that's trained and understands how the mind of a human works, And I found out that one thing that they said to me was, your physical, your mental, and your emotional self always need to be balanced, right? And what that means is that as you grow, physically you can't control that. You grow every day. Your ears grow every day. You grow, like your body grows without even asking you anything, right? Your brain, it processes information every day. It processes what's happening. It processes how you reason. It finds way to calculate problems and try solve them. But your emotional self has nothing that sort of grooms it. It just takes in. It just takes. Someone swears at you, it just takes. Someone makes you happy, it just takes. And we don't understand that we have to have a thing that always makes sure that physically as you grow, mentally as you grow, because you can't control that, we have to try and control how emotionally we are growing. And that's the most important part of how your brain reasons. So what happens is that as you grow up, as you are 2, 3, 4, something happens to you and you are 4 years old. As a 4-year-old brain, you can't explain what it is because you don't know what it is. You get me? So that thing sticks with you at 4. Maybe your mom left you alone in the house and you felt scared, you know, and you don't deal with that. Your mom comes back, it's all good and well, you are happy that she's back. But you never dealt with how you felt when she had left you. So what happens is that emotionally, you are stuck there at this 4-year-old that was left by your mom. But physically, no one, like that doesn't wait for anyone. So you grow, you are 5, you are 6, you are 7, you are 8. And your brain keeps saying, okay, I'm processing these things. This is how you are happy, this is how you are sad. And your body says, I'm gonna have parasites 13, no, you know? But then emotionally, you are still stuck there at the 4-year-old that was hurt when you were 4. So you have to speak to people that will invoke those emotions that you got when you were hurt when you were 4. So that your body and your emotional self can say, okay, Shimi, we can't wait for you as your body and as your brain. But talk to us, what went wrong? Like, why can't you move from being a 4-year-old? And the 4-year-old will say, yeah, I mean, my mom left me when I was 4. And then the brain, because it has grown, it can reason. It will then say, no man, your mom left you for that was 10 minutes, boy. Like, she went to the toilet, she had a runny tummy, and she came back, right? And then the 4-year-old will say, oh, okay, cool. That's okay. Like, I can move on from that, you know? But if you are going to stay at the 4-year-old self, whatever happens when you are 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, even 100, it will always take your emotions back to how you felt when you were that 4-year-old. So we need to work on ourselves. And that's how you can deal with the mental shit that other people throw to you. Because when you are at par, when emotional, your brain and your physical self are at par, your emotion self is 23, you are 23 physically. When someone says shit to you, you're like, actually, your 4-year-old self, when inside of you, that you didn't deal with, is misbehaving. And I've moved on. So that's how you get to cut out things that are trying to evoke that 4-year-old in you that is hurt. I don't know if I made sense, guys, but that's how I look at it. When people swear at me on Twitter and whatever, I'm like, it's that 7-year-old that was hurt that is trying to hurt me to make themselves feel better. It hurts, but for me to deal with myself and not let that get to me, I reason like that. Yeah.